And we are live. Welcome everyone, and welcome everyone, and welcome to the Buzz. We actually it took a little hiatus in July, um, on some parts of July on these broadcasts, and we're so lucky today that we have Joe and Jean here. But first, before we get into our interview with these guys, I just wanted to introduce Diane. She will be my co host tonight. Diane, let's check in with you.
Good evening. How's
How's things?
everybody? Everybody's good? Ready to
Everything?
go?
Everyone's good and ready to go. So I guess I should properly introduce our guests. We have Joe Husereau. Welcome, Joe.
Hi, good evening.
Hi. And we have Jean Berardo.
Hello,
And
everyone.
welcome.
Hi,
So
everyone.
so happy to be here. And I guess we got chatting before the broadcast, and I know that Joe and Jean have been friends for a lot of years. And they actually were telling us that they, went to, I guess it was called the Catholic school, where they, you know, um, did some education with the nuns. So very interesting information. And then they ended up going to Westerly High School. I think they said in the ninth grade, but we'll hear more about all of that if I got that information correct. So anyway, I think we're going to get started. And Diane, you will have the first question today.
Okay. So let's see. Excuse me. I saw Joe recently at Trivia, which was so much fun. That was last week. And Jean, I saw you at the last reunion.
Yes.
You were there too. So, but many of our classmates that are going to be watching tonight or seeing this broadcast later on haven't seen you in 50 years. 50 years, can you imagine? Can you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing in the past 50 years? Maybe some work background or college or family or whatever you'd like to talk about. Whatever you'd like to talk about. Jean, how about you? Let's hear from you first.
Well, hello, everyone. A little bit about my background. I left early. I wasn't at the graduation. I got my diploma in the mail. I volunteered for Vietnam, and I was 17 for 6 months before I turned 18. And I was in the military for 6 months prior to that. I was in for 4 years, got out. I lived in Michigan for a while after I got out. Then I had a child that had a problem, and she ended up dying in my arms a few months later. She'd be in her 40s now, but I have 2 children now. They're my daughter's in Rochester, my son's in Rochester, and I have 4 grandchildren. One's in college down in Florida.
Wow.
After I got out of the military, I worked as in a men's clothing store in Michigan. Then I went on to becoming a carpenter, and then moved back to Rhode Island. Worked for my uncle Vic Morgan and Sons.
Oh.
Then I worked at EB for about 7 months, and just felt it wasn't for me. And I homesteaded it, got a U-Haul, and took my first child, and we moved up to the Finger Lakes in Western New York, where I live at this present time. Now I worked for a builder for about 6 years, went on my own as a builder, and now I own a very unique furniture store in Penn Yan, New York. It is reclaimed furniture from all over the world and accessories, and just a fun store. And I live on the lake, on Cuca Lake. It's one of the gems of the Finger Lake. We have a lot of wineries, vineyards, and it's becoming a destination right now. I ended up with stage 4 cancer about 10 years ago, and I took an experimental chemo. I was actually the guest speaker in a worldwide cancer conference in Stockholm, Sweden. I was kind of funny story. I got on stage. I introduced myself as Gene Berardo. I'm a cancer survivor. And I was very nervous. So I looked at the audience. Every country was there. And I said, I know you all have audience fright, so just relax. Because I was sweating.
That's perfect.
then my heart spoke, and they filmed my story all over Stockholm, and it went to every cancer center in the world. Now I'm actually on the website for I wrote a story about caregivers, how important it is. Now I'm on the website for the cancer drug to help save other people. And
That's awesome.
today, last week, I had a little bit of hospitalization, but I'm okay now. And I couldn't wait to be on this broadcast. I was looking forward to it, to say hello to everyone. And pretty much that's about it.
Wow, that's a lot.
That is a
Holy
lot.
smokes. The furniture place sounds awesome. That I
It's
remember
it's
you
very
told me
unique.
about it 5 years ago, but I didn't realize that it was like vintage style stuff or
Yes, from all over the world, from India, Indonesia, teak doors from houses in India, you name it, we have it. And when people walk in the door, they say, "Wow, where did this store come from?" So I got the wow factor, but I wanted to
that's
create.
awesome.
Yeah,
Hey, can I ask you a question about your cancer and being a cancer survivor? Are you open to people contacting you about
I would love to. I try to tell, I've had people ask me how to, what can you do? What type of treatment did you have? Because I have cancer now, and I tell them there's so many different treatments. I volunteered for a clinical trial drug. It wasn't even approved. It killed 30 people in the beginning. There was 1,000 people that tried it. I ended up with 106 temperature at Strong Hospital. I had to say goodbye to my kids. I had a lawyer come do a will. They said I wouldn't make it till the morning, but my doctors shot me in my bone marrow with a man-made protein to make white blood cells, and that saved my life. Um,
wow.
and I tell people that you can never think about dying. If you ever find out you have cancer, if you think you're going to die, you're going to die. You have to stay positive, do whatever it's out there, and you have to focus on living. And you can beat it. You can beat it, but you got to be strong because it beats the hell out of you. And
Yeah.
I'm a strong guy, but it took me down hard. But I'm okay now. It's been 10 years, so
Wow.
We're so lucky.
Congratulations.
I
positive
know.
attitude. That's the whole key. And
Yeah.
enjoy life. You got to really treasure.
Been a little
Wow.
busy in the past 50 years, Gene.
Yes, I sure have, but it's okay. He didn't
Yeah.
want me up there yet. He wanted me to be on this broadcast so I could say hello to everyone.
There you go.
I learned one thing through all this. I'm only here to make people laugh. And I'm going to tell you a short story. I was engaged to a girl from Alberta. They have a home in Montana. So I was in Montana. I was in a men's room, and I don't know if you ladies know, but when you're by a urinal, it's very boring. So I looked at the guy next to me. There was only two of us in there. I looked at him and I said, "Just the two of us." And somebody was in the stall, and the guy in the stall yells out, "And just the three of us." It was like, so that's the only reason I'm here is to make people happy.
Oh my God. That's a good
Wow.
story. That's a good
That,
Yeah.
story.
that is a good
Oh,
story. Wow.
unbelievable.
Hey, Jean, you are such an inspiration to so many, and I applaud you for that. And I do have a quick question before Joe speaks, but what is the name of your furniture store?
Coles, Coles Furniture. We're on Facebook, and we have a website called Coles Furniture or Fashions.
I'm going to look that up.
Me
Yes,
too. Me too, for sure.
and there's a lot of
Thank you.
photos there. We're on Facebook too. Coles Furniture and Floor Fashions.
Nice.
Sounds good.
Okay, Joe Husereau, it's your turn.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I don't know. Some ways I've had kind of a boring life. I've lived in Westerly all my life, born, raised, probably die there. Um, it's just I finished when I finished high school. I think the thing that was last on my mind was school. I really disliked school. I wanted to go out there and make money. That's pretty much all I was thinking about. So I went to work at Cottrell's in Pawcatuck
Mm.
Mm.
and learned the machinist trade. And later on worked at Electric Boat, Davis Standard. Most of the machine shops around the area I've worked in. But after about 7 years, I was working with designs that the designers were drawing up, and I had to manufacture them, and some of them were kind of challenging. And I got to thinking that why couldn't they design it like this, or why couldn't they design it like that to make it, designed for manufacturability before that was the thing. I found myself complaining about that quite a bit. And then somebody suggested, well, why don't you go back to school and become a designer? And I did. So after I was out of high school for 7 years, I went to college. And
Good for you.
And it's funny because when I looked at my transcripts and everything, my class standing was horrible in high school. And I'm fortunate to have been given a chance, and did well in college, and then worked in design. And it was true that having the working hands on helps you design, because I now knew if you could make this or not. And, I'm not designing something that's somebody says how looks at it and says, how do you expect me to make that? So I think that was something that helped me a lot. And
Definitely.
then I was in school, and when I had my children, so working full time, 4 kids, and college. So, and I also took up flying well, actually, I took it up before I was out of high school. So I used to fly small planes, and that was my hobby. So just pretty much stayed around here, and I enjoy the area a lot now. And when there was a time that I could think of nothing, I wanted more than to get out of Westerly, because I associated anything that was wrong in my life with the town.
Wow.
And now it's like, oh, this is a beautiful town, and it's like, we enjoy the beach. My wife and I enjoy, everything around here. And, that's basically that. And, I've been here ever since. Moved once in my life from one side of town to the other. So, kind of boring, but sometimes boring's good.
You know what? I don't think it's boring at all. I think
Me
it's
either.
very refreshing to hear somebody that's so content in their life or whatever. That's awesome. And Westerly is great. It's changed so much. I mean, as I ride through town not in the summertime, but or go through different areas, I think, oh my gosh, that never used to be there, or that used to be a farm, or a lot of memories. But community is so important, so important.
Yeah.
We went.
Yeah,
we went. Our
Go
kids
ahead.
took us to the beach for our anniversary, and being down there, it's like we're sitting on the beach, and it's like I just got to thinking, how is this different than it was years ago?
Right.
The one thing that I could put, because the blankets are the same, the umbrellas, the water's the same.
Yeah.
The thing that was different was we used to hear 1010 Winds New York on radios all over the beach, or 77 WABC, Cousin Brucey. It's like we listened to all the jingles for Palisades Amusement Park. It was like, that's you don't hear that anymore. I'm not saying that's good or bad.
No, that's true. I never really thought about that. Yeah.
You don't hear transistor radios anymore.
No, people have earbuds in, and they're like this.
maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true. Mickey and I go down to Weekapaug once in a while, or Fenway, and bring dinner or something like that. And we used to be at Seaside too. And that one thing is that you look out there's Block Island still.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of the houses are a little different, but things are pretty much the same as far as being on that beach.
Yeah.
And it's pretty serene. Yeah. Awesome.
We're
Okay,
lucky.
Kim, you have our next question, right, for these guys?
You guys ready? Okay. So Joe and Jean, can you tell us what your greatest achievements have been and what you enjoy most in this stage of your life now?
Go ahead, Joe.
All right. Well, I think that I had a rewarding career in research, and it was challenging and rewarding in the sense that I got to do something different every day. But I, work is work, and I always working at a big place, you lose your autonomy. I go in. I used to go in there, and at EB we had badges, and I had a ritual where I would get in my car, I would take off my badge, I'd put it in my compartment, and I was off work, off duty, and that was it. And I would go home, and my wife would ask me how was work today, and I would say, "Good." It's just good, yeah, good. And I kept that there. But I think that as far as accomplishments, and it wasn't all me. I think that I met a very wonderful woman, and have great kids and everything, and I enjoy. I think that my biggest joy today is when I see my kids together, all four of them, and all eight of our grandchildren, and they all get along with each other. They all want to be with each other. It's like there's no friction, no problems, and
That's great.
I can't take
That's
credit for
great.
that, but I do feel like that's a part of you know what's important in life, and the career. It was fun while it lasted. It's just like sometimes I'd like to get engaged in something like that, but I do stay involved with my union, and I'm involved with um, the Rhode Island, the political scene for the union endorsements and things like that. We travel to Washington and the state houses, both in Rhode Island and Connecticut. But I would say that the biggest thing is family.
Very meaningful. I saw that picture of your family at the beach. That was beautiful on Facebook.
Very nice,
And I've
Joe.
been lucky enough to meet your wife. Didn't even know it until you sent me a picture because I posted my grandson at the library and your grandson and wife were there. And I
Yeah,
spoke to her the whole time. It
Oh,
was great. Yeah.
yeah,
oh.
Had we known, you know, who we were, I could have really, no, I wouldn't badmouth you,
yeah.
Joe. No,
That's
that's
one good
very
thing
nice.
about that's one good thing about no one knowing you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
I
Oh,
I don't know if
Joe,
there's too many people could say too many things, good or bad, about me,
right.
and in school.
So, Joe, I just want to say that the way you described your family, how they all get along, I mean, that's a true testament to you and your wife. You've sound like you've raised great children who are adults now, but it's so refreshing to hear that you have a tight family unit, and family is very important. So I applaud you for that. That's really awesome.
I like that it's manifested itself in the grandchildren too, because it tells me that that's important to my children, and they're teaching their
Yeah,
the importance of that.
absolutely.
that's awesome. Thanks. Okay, Gene, you all set?
Not really, but yeah, here we go.
Put you on the spot. You know,
Yeah, sure. So, as far as achievements in my life, like I said, I'm lucky to have a second chance at life. A lot of people don't get that. I'm a fighter. I achieved working hard. I felt working hard. Really, you can get whatever you want. You can, if you work hard for it, it's achievable.
mhm.
Uh, I'm not wealthy or anything. I got a little bungalow here. I live a simple life. I live on the lake. I'm across the street, actually. But this summer I never even put my boats in. I never even jumped in the water once. I did travel to Europe July 4th. I will say I did have a little vacation overseas, so that
Nice.
that was
That's nice.
nice. and I went to Italy and Mallorca, Spain, and Mykonos. But as far as I worked hard for what I've gotten. I worked with my hands for years, and I actually, until a week ago, before I got sick, I actually was still installing floor covering at my age. Uh, it's hard to find help nowadays, so and to get to work the type of work that I like to give out, I have to do it myself to get the quality. But as far as I'm content where I'm at in life, my children, I have great grandchildren. They're an hour away. I actually think if they were further away, I'd probably see them more. It just seems like everybody's so wrapped up in the world nowadays that there isn't time for anything. And but I treasure life. Very I'm very grateful for everything I have and for, like I said, a second chance at life. As far as the joy, I'm just a happy person. I'm here to make people laugh, and that's a big part of my life right now. People
That's
come in my
awesome.
store, and
Yes.
I look at somebody. I say, "Where'd you get that shirt?" And to the guy, I say, "I like it a lot." I tell him, and I go, "Do they make them in men's sizes also?" So I try to get people laughing as much as I can.
Good.
It's my joy I get to make people happy.
Hey, Gene, do you when you enlisted and you went to Vietnam or whatever? I think that's a pretty huge achievement.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah, I was young. My parents were getting divorced, and I wanted to serve my country. That's why I wasn't at the graduation or anything. I was actually, you guys were all graduating and having fun at the beach, and I was in basic training sleeping. So I thought of you guys. I thought of everyone, though, but I have no regrets serving my country. My kid brother wanted to outdo me, so he did a 30-year Marine stint. Now he lives in Oahu. But yeah, I'm a very patriotic person. I care about our country. I don't like what's going on in the world right now, but what are you going to do? I'm not going to, yeah, so.
Right. Well, we thank you for what you did back then. And I don't remember.
The parties on the beach, believe me, I miss those parties when you guys were there.
I know.
So
Well,
then you have to party all the more at the 50th reunion.
So you betcha. Oh, by the way, they call me Gene the Dance with the Don Show. So I love to dance, so you'll see me out there if my feet heal up.
awesome.
Very cool. Very cool.
So that's going to lead me into these questions of what's your favorite high school memory? Who wants to go? Gene, you want to go first?
Yes, I think Charlie. I think it was Charles Turtlelock. Is that was his name? Turtlelock, was that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and I joined choir because we wanted to be. I think we're the only two guys in it because we wanted to be around girls, and we went outside the door one time, outside the choir door, and we lit up cigarettes. And I'll never forget. All of a sudden, we hear a tap on the glass, and on the second floor, the third floor, was the principal looking at us, and saying, "Come on up to the office." So that's one memory I really have that sticks with me. And then the other one was I played baseball, varsity baseball, and I'll never forget. My position was right side of the bench. And then when I got to play right field, I was always saying, "Don't hit the ball for me, please. Don't hit the ball." Because I was only 127 pounds back then, and I was like 5'10", a little skinny. You know, it was one of those kids like at the beach, and somebody wants to steal your girlfriend, so they kick sand. You know, and so I ordered the Charles Atlas book at the time. You know? I was a late starter. I was a late bloomer. You know.
So that's how you got how you are now.
Yes.
That's great.
Oh my God, that's funny.
That's hysterical.
Good. Did you have a favorite class or a favorite teacher, Gene?
I think I fell in love with the art teacher at the time.
Was that Miss Pendleton?
Yes. She actually married my uncle Roland Berardo.
Huh.
Oh, you were jealous.
Yeah, always. I was jealous of. I had this thing for beautiful women. All of you. I had the hots for all of you, but I was so shy then, like Joe.
That's the right thing to say.
Yeah, I was shy. I was very shy, you know.
Hey,
You
Gene.
were so polite, Gene. You were
Gene,
always
you,
so
Yeah,
polite.
yeah. But then I came out of my shell. Now I'm a lot
Gene,
different.
you weren't looking at those nuns, were you?
I can't go there, Joe, right now. Okay.
All right. We'll talk
When
later.
we have Mennonites up where I live here, and I always used to say, you know what a Mennonite woman, you know what Amish woman prays for? Two
What?
Mennonites.
Oh.
All right. That's it. That's it. That's another thing.
Oh, that's
No more
funny.
immaculate conception jokes. People don't
No, what
know that
happens
you.
there stays there. Okay, Joe.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's so
Joe.
funny.
Yep. Zip.
So, Joe, it's your turn now. What's your favorite high school memory?
I don't really have a lot. A lot of good memories, anyways. It's just, just trying to survive while I was there. But, um, I do remember getting in trouble one time for, they sent us in biology because we were dissecting frogs. And they sent us up to this closet in one of the labs to get a bucket of frogs. And on the way back,
Oh.
uh, I forget who was with me, but there were those ceramic water bubbles that we had. They were ceramic, like a bowl, that the drinking fountains, and we put a frog in each one of those on the way back to the biology class, and got called down to the office for that, and it just puzzled me. Like, how did I not think that we were going to get caught with it? They always said
Frogs.
they only sent like two people up to get these frogs, so like, it had to be us.
Somebody else we interviewed, Kim, mentioned this in about biology and frogs. I can't remember who it was.
It was so gross, honestly.
But
Any of that stuff.
they do say that our brains aren't really fully developed until we're like 23 or something.
So they give us frogs.
And then they made us stick ourselves in the finger to do a blood test. Like we had to prick our
Oh my
with
God.
a razor blade. It's like, come on. It's like,
I don't even remember that. Were you in
on that.
Were you in Mrs. Fletcher's class?
I don't even remember who it was. I don't.
Maybe it was Mr. Autry's class? No. Was he was bio was he bio he was biology, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have him. I don't remember who it was. There a wait a minute now, I'm trying to think. Was there a Bartlett?
Bartlett.
Mr.
That
Bartlett?
sounds kind of familiar. I don't know. I didn't pay attention too much in school.
Yeah, I mean that's basically, I don't remember a lot. But Gene,
Well, now our brains are going the other way.
Gene, just a little joke for you in regards to I'm gonna ask you if you know what a hippie polygamist calls his wives.
No.
One Mississippi, two Mississippi.
Good one, Joe.
Oh my God.
Store. Oh, that's
That was
funny.
That was good.
Hey, I just want to let you know that someone has written in for you guys. Someone said, "Hey, Gene and Joe, good to see you both." And then Gene, when you were, saying your thing, and they said, "Way to go, Gene." So anyway, just wanted to let you know that.
Thanks. Very humbled
So
by
whoever that was, it was a Facebook user. Not sure where. Oops. Gene just popped out for a minute.
Kim, do you know who sends in notes or anything?
Sometimes they're identified and sometimes they're not.
Okay.
Someone else says, "Hey, guy, I wonder if Gene knows enough to come back in."
Gene, where are you?
We lost Gene. He's coming back soon, I think.
Oh gosh.
Oh, here he comes. Maybe we should let him stay in the room for a little bit. All right, we'll bring him in.
You're gonna
The
He's
green
back.
room.
at the Catholic school they call that the cloakroom.
Oh.
Remember that? Get
That's
sent to
funny.
the cloakroom.
He went to the cloakroom, just so everyone that's watching. Gene left to go into the cloakroom because
I'm
he
here
had
now.
a.
I'm here. I'm
Yeah.
here.
All right, all right. So I do have a question now that you're back. What message would you like to give to the class of 1973?
Enjoy life. Live life to the fullest. Stay positive. Keep negativity out of your life.
Yes.
It does nothing but harm you. And be good to other people.
Mm,
That's nice.
definitely.
Perfect. That's well said, Gene.
Thank you.
Joe?
If, first of all, I wish this question was, with the graduating class today, what I would say, but to our graduating class, I think because I didn't feel like a part of it when I was there,
Mm,
but I've become very proud to be part of this class.
You're gonna make me cry.
Yeah,
Joe?
I just, I don't know. You make assumptions when you're young, and you think that something's a certain way, or that, that I don't know. I just, misunderstood, did a misread on it, and I think that's part of growing up because I was like that, not just with school, but with socially. It wasn't until I got involved with my union that I had to deal with a lot of people,
Mhm.
and that I came out of that shell that I was in, but I'm glad to be a part of this. I'm glad for what you guys are doing with these broadcasts. I listened to some of these, and they're amazing. I'm really pleased with that.
cool.
I'd just like to say one thing to Joe. Remember when I came back for the last reunion, Joe? I said let's get somebody to get together at I think it was Perks and Corks,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Joe's the one that showed up, and here we are again together, Joe.
Yeah.
We go
That's
back a long
awesome.
ways, brother. We go
We're
back.
like brothers.
You betcha. And we
Yeah.
kept in
Wow.
contact. Yeah, it's been beautiful.
We
Yeah.
did.
He's
We
a
had a
great.
very,
He's
very
a great
close
man.
class.
He's a great man. He's a
Yes.
great, good friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. I think it's been so important to reconnect. I hear more because it has been 50 years. That's a long
Yeah.
freaking time to be out of high school. And
Yeah.
we have lost several of our fellow classmates.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kind of hope to keep reconnecting. It doesn't have to be every 5 years now. And I think some of us really will be doing that, in the future. And we really want people to come on to this interview because we want to hear from you. We want to reconnect. We want to be together. So,
I can't thank
anything
you and
else?
Kim. I can't thank you and Kim for all you've done to
Oh,
do this.
thanks.
It is such a beautiful thing. I mean, all your hard work you've put into the reunion, everything. And can we still donate to you? Send it to you, Diane.
Yep, sure.
Okay. Okay.
Yep,
Or
yep.
can we bring it there? Whatever. I don't know if it,
Yeah, whatever's
okay.
best for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you've been following some of the Facebook. I try to put posts
Yeah, I
on,
tried to follow some of it, but
and Kim's do. Yeah. So we give the updates. You're welcome to come to the Zoom meetings. We have one Thursday night.
okay.
Um,
Okay.
we don't want to be making decisions. We want everybody to make the decisions. We're following through. If people don't come onto the Zoom, we unfortunately have to make the decisions. But
Right.
whatever. I mean, nothing's going to be perfect. It's going to be a great time to get together.
Yeah.
Going to be at the Windjammer Friday night. We're going to listen to Don Plowman and those guys, their group on Saturday. How awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
We're lucky
Um,
for that.
yeah,
That's such a
yeah.
bonus.
It's going to be
Yeah.
great. It's
Yeah.
going to be great. So,
Hey, I just
Yeah.
wanted, we have a couple more comments in the comment section. Eileen said, finally found where I can comment. Glad to see you both and looking forward to the reunion. And then she said, Joe, you were not alone. High school was tough for a lot of us for different reasons. I think the takeaway from tonight is that you are both content in your lives. Cheers. So what a
aw,
nice
that's nice,
message.
Eileen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for others who have posted. So thank you so much. It's been great.
I do we have more questions or?
No, but you're say whatever you want to say.
There was one on there that I would like to answer because it was important to me. Was the favorite teacher one, and mine was Mr. Ryan. I had
Oh
several
yeah.
that were very good teachers, but Mr. Ryan kind of saved my butt because I was ready to quit school,
Oh.
and he took me aside and he gave me a very, let's just call it a fatherly speech, and he's the one that kept me there. He's the one that gave me confidence in myself that
Mm-hmm.
led me to believe that I could succeed at school.
Mm-hmm.
That I took that with me to college and did very well in college afterwards. And I got to see Mr. Ryan when he used to go to Burger King, and I sat down with him and told him about it.
Oh,
Okay.
that's awesome.
Oh,
Oh,
beautiful.
that's awesome.
Beautiful, Joe.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's really,
Nice.
really awesome.
You think about it back then, what do we know at 16 and 17 years old? And,
Yeah,
we're just young kids. And,
yeah, yeah,
and lots of the things you were saying, Joe, it's all about perception. We all perceive things in such a different way. And our background, our family unit, and things like that. But yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I've got to ask all of you a question, and I don't know if you've experienced this. When you have a group of friends, or you have a friend, and like one friend doesn't like another friend, so then it's almost like there are walls that build up that I don't know if any of you had that happen, but it was like I had friends that I came up from Immaculate Conception with, and it was like, oh, I don't like that. A friend, one of my new friends didn't like that person, or it just those sort of things were the things that I didn't like.
Yeah,
And now it's like there are people I didn't talk to because my friends didn't like them, and it's like now you see them and it's like that was so stupid.
Well, there happen to be followers, there happen to be leaders. I mean, part of the pecking order. There's
yeah,
so much to it, but
and I think naturally that like with kids that haven't matured yet, that a lot of times if you're insecure in yourself, you're trying to you try to point the finger at somebody else that's
right.
having difficulty with something, and
we had
Mm,
no idea what was happening
yeah,
in different lives of different classmates that you weren't really close to. And that was being judgmental, but we didn't know too much better on that.
right.
A lot of my background was that helped me through a lot of that stuff was 4-H. I
yeah,
was in 4-H forever, and as a teenager had to go to, I went to different workshops. I was chosen to do public speaking. I was able to do a lot of conflict resolution because of that youth organization. So,
Yeah,
your family background, your youth background, if you were into sports or whatever, it all played a role, I think.
right, right. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I think I've learned through the years that everyone has their stuff, and you alluded a little bit to this, Diane, that you really don't know what someone is going through, and they may come across as being rude or obnoxious or whatever, or trigger you in a way that isn't good. But I think everyone deals with something. Everyone has their stuff, I always say. And
Hmm.
I think taking a step back and kind of realizing it helped me understand a little bit more of like, yeah,
Sure.
it's not me, it's their stuff, you know
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, but anyway, just wanted to add that.
Well, now that we've solved the world's problems here
I know, we're
today.
so
Yeah.
good.
Do you know the price of cashews are going up in China right now?
No.
No.
Good
Oh,
to know.
that's not good. It's
Well,
supposed to be good news.
I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to
I'm
seeing
looking
all my
forward to seeing all you. I
classmates.
want to give you guys all a big hug, and Joe,
Yeah.
an extra
Yeah.
special hug for you, my brother.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Been a long time, Jane.
Proud of you, buddy. I'm proud of you. You're a
Yeah.
accomplishment in life.
You as well.
So
And all
special.
you ladies for everything you've done, for what you've done here to bring us all together.
You
Thank you.
keep
from
in
the bottom of
touch
my heart.
too after the reunion. Keep in
Yes,
touch.
you bet.
you know?
You bet
Yes.
we will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for taking the time to be on the broadcast. So much appreciated. Wonderful to hear from both of you. Look forward to seeing you at the reunion. And so thanks again for a great broadcast. It was very entertaining and fun.
It was.
Thank you.
Oh,
The heart.
nice.
Oh,
Beautiful.
so
Jean.
special. All right,
All right.
that's it. I think that's a wrap, right?
It's a
Yep.
wrap.
All right.
You guys have a good night. We'll
You
see
too.
you
Thank you.
soon.
Night,
Thank
everyone.
you.
And thank you
Bye-bye.
again. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye bye.